Hello and welcome to episode 457 of the Steel Cage Podcast. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as the mayor of Reseda, California. And I am back with my BOLA boys here to talk about a little professional wrestling and how excited we are for the announcement that PWG's BOLA is back. Of course, the guy that I will be sharing a double-sized bed with in a downtown LA hotel room, it's the one and only Neo X.
I knew it. As soon as you said sharing bed with.
It's you. It's me. We're going to snuggle up. You're my little spoon. You know what? It'll be fine. It's 2 nights. BOLA is not 3 nights this year, so we don't have to snuggle for 3 nights, right? But
exactly.
But the guy getting the bed to himself is the big guy himself, the one and only. It's Big Papa Pump, Uncle Beek.
Oh, hey, somebody can snuggle with me. One night I might get lonely. I don't know. Yeah. I might insist one night.
I know. We'll see. We'll mix it up. But
we're gonna play astronauts. I'll be the jetpack.
Nuts to butts.
We're gonna do that. What is it? That Jushin human centipede spot
with the thumb. There's 3 of us in a fucking tiny little circle.
It's just the 3 of us waddling about.
Housekeeping comes in because we don't put the do not disturb thing up.
Oh no, wait.
Housekeeping, come on
Mind your business. Mind your business.
And she just joins in.
Well, I have my delicious fresca, my delicious medicated fresca. Ooh.
Oh yeah? Are they sponsoring the show?
Nope.
Get that shit out of here. Thank you.
I was just showing the logo. I didn't
focus.
I didn't mention the name.
All right. Well, this PWG does not sponsor this show, but you think they would with the way that we talk about them.
Yeah.
The 2022 Battle of Los Angeles is now taking place officially on January 29th and 30th, which first of all is very interesting because obviously this is a drastic change as to when they normally hold their tournament, and I don't know
of time.
And the length of time. It's typically, at least since I believe 2014, since we started going to it, has been 3 nights. So
yeah, 2 nights is interesting. Like, wonder if how they're going to set up the structure, like how it will change the tournament.
Correct. How many competitors will they have? Obviously, they have to limit because the 3 nights really was based on the number of competitors that they had. Once they bumped the field up to 24. I think was where it was at. It's
a crazy tournament to even plan at that point.
Yeah, I don't think that they had the capacity. So I imagine that we'll probably see less competitors, or, maybe they just take out some of the, because the BOLA has always been known to have a big, typically like a 6-man tag at the end of night 1 and some other matches peppered throughout, especially.
Oh, it'd be really bummer if they dropped those. Tags, man.
I'm just saying they could, in order to kind of
definitely
kind of make it a little leaner of a show. I doubt they will. I'm sure we'll see the tag championships defended. I'm sure we'll see a couple of things like that. But what has been announced has been that Jonah Rock is the first entrant in the 2022 Battle of Los Angeles. Alex Shelley is the second entrant, and Kevin Blackwood is the third. Big fan of how this is shaping up already so far.
I think Kevin Blackwood's is really interesting because I think he was one of the alternates from a recent show. Like, he wasn't booked on the show. Somebody couldn't make the date, so they fucking called him in. I believe that is the case with Mr. Blackwood. So
awesome for him.
When you're given that opportunity, you step up, and if you
that's why wrestlers have their gear on them at all times.
There you go.
That one was the Tremendous 3, right?
I believe so.
This was the last show.
Yeah.
It was Tremendous 3.
I think that was the case.
Dude, that's rad.
Yeah.
That is rad.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about PWG is...
Doesn't hurt, he's awesome.
It's notorious for knowing and picking up new talent, right? It got to the point that from the first time I started going to now, when I don't know guys, I don't think anything about it, except I can't wait to see who this guy is. I typically have that kind of faith in PWG about their ability to assess talent and bring them in. There's been times where I kind of hated some of their choices, like, David Starr was somebody I was never a fan of, even before all of the shit blew up. I didn't really want to see.
Oh, that was
David
the guy with
Starr.
with the
Oh,
mustache.
I won't lie. Fucking,
Yeah.
I thought he was
The union
tits.
guy, right? He was like all about
Yeah.
the union.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, again, there's been a couple of people, but typically they actually were heels. And I think they were kind of feeding into that whole thing just a little bit, like the real life feeling people had towards them. And I'm sure the reason why I didn't like David Starr before I found out the other stuff, or before the other stuff came up, is just because of that, because he was good at being a piece of shit. But anyway,
I will willingly admit that maybe him working me worked me, and I
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
There
for
are
sure.
certain people that I sincerely hate, and it's because they do a good job at what they do, right?
I liked him as a wrestler, and then I heard he was really shitty to our friend, and then I was like, oh. Not only was he shitty to our friend, he was a shitty to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Damn it! Why did I like that guy?
Yeah. But that happened a lot in pro wrestling. I mean, I was friends with a couple of those guys that ended up being shitty people who have now disappeared from my life and
Hopefully,
from
everyone
wrestling.
else,
Anyway, we have other stuff to talk about, though.
Well, before that,
Hey, we're going to
I'm
PWG,
sure-
by the way.
That's something to tell everybody.
Yeah.
right?
Why are you crossing your fingers?
So get this. I remember, and I just wanted to share a BOLA experience with you boys. I remember when there was just a big hullabaloo from like Guitar Salad and Super Juice saying it's like so hard to get tickets. And I think even like the plan, right, was like one person was going to buy tickets one night, other person was going to buy tickets one night, and then there was supposed to be some sort of alternate or something like that, right, Derek?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I bought tickets and everybody bought tickets. And so I had extra tickets, for no fucking, for backup reasons, because I thought I needed to buy tickets because I heard they were so elusive.
Dude, that's just the way it.
And then,
luckily, go ahead. Oh, yeah. I thought I was this shit.
okay, this story goes on. And
Yeah.
then I spent all of BOLA on Squared Circle Reddit, wrestling Twitter, trying to offset my tickets. And guess what? I sold them all.
Yep. Unfortunately, sometimes because tickets are so scarce, like we're lucky you actually were able to pull that off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we were able to get 5 people to get tickets. It's crazy nuts.
Yeah.
I was actually, we need to talk about that soon.
Yeah, we got
Even though it's 2 nights. Even though it's 2 nights, we probably should double up on a couple of nights and then fucking unload them to anybody, because we will be unable to unload them.
Yeah, well, and that's the big thing is BOLA has kind of gotten weird. It used to sell out literally. Somehow miraculously all 3 nights would sell out in like 2 minutes.
Not miraculously. We know why.
Oh yeah, we know why. It's because some asshole was putting like 500 fucking tickets in his cart.
It's bots, man. They were fucking attacking the shit with bots.
That's right. But man, I'll tell you, I like the new venue because that doesn't seem to be the problem as much. And I know tickets still sell out, but I don't think BOLA is going to be.
Because they figured out what was going
it
on.
Used to be, yeah.
They've eliminated the issue, I believe.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
that's good to know. That's very good to know. Bots, man.
But I remember it was just so.
It was really annoying when this fucking guy walks up and tells me directly to my face, "Yeah, well, this is what we're doing."
Yeah,
I'm part of that group. I'm like,
I'm part of the group that's doing it.
It's like, can I get in? At first, you're like, well, I want to get in on this, but this is shady as fuck.
Yeah, kind of a piece of shit, but
yeah.
Can I get in on it?
Yeah, can't get in. No,
we should definitely share BOLA stories. I know my number one BOLA story will always be taking a suplex from Black Taurus. Black Taurus took a suplex, or using Darby Allin suplex his person upon my person while it's trying to eat nacho cheese. Or nachos.
Yeah, those nachos were dead.
The nachos that just disappeared.
They exploded.
They
we looked around like, where are these nachos?
But you know what? The thing that never leaves my mind was like how, I guess, unbudging I was, because he hit me with the guy and I'm just like, hey, my nachos.
I'm enjoying this snack. What's the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Why'd you come in my zone and fucking bump my nachos out of my hand?
Hey, if it was another wrestler, man, I probably would have been, I would probably would have been taking off my shoes. something.
Yeah, if it wasn't Darby, look if he threw a fucking 90-pound dude at you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, fucking BOLA was the first time I met Dave, basically sitting down next to him, like, hey, what up, dude?
Hey, man.
Just kicking it. And at wrestling shows, you're always worried about A, being smelly, or B, being on top of somebody. So the whole time I'm like, mindful of trying not to be on top of this dude, but yeah, he fucking turned out to be a rad dude. I was squashed up against you the entire time. Running in from Mexico, by the way.
The first time you and I met was at BOLA as well, way back.
But not literally as I sat down next to you to enjoy 3 hours of wrestling.
That's true. That's
how
true.
long? Maybe 4 or 5 hours of wrestling. Fucking hey.
Yeah, BOLA's awesome like that. I think, obviously the Aleister Black or Malachi Black story that we've told before, where Tommy End chose to crash into me, like what you're talking about. He definitely afterwards told me, he told me, yes, that he was going to crash into me because I was like a giant fucking fluffy pillow compared to all of the other chairs. But I will say once again, I was in the non-splash zone seats. My seats did not collapse. Thus, I should not have had to run for my life. I think that was my personal feeling on why I didn't get up and move. Which thinking. Let me tell you, it turned out to be a huge mistake, because maybe when that's going to happen, you can take it differently. But I really sincerely did not believe that was going to happen to me in that moment. I didn't think it was a possibility. I wasn't even on the end. I was a few seats in. I don't even know how he got to me with the angle. He just openly saw me. It was like, no, I'm crashing into that guy. But it hurt pretty bad. I remember that. I remember my elbow, like a pinky, hurt. It wasn't great, but it was still a wonderful experience to be a part of the show like that. I will say, though, that my favorite honest BOLA memories are the fact that we go together as a group and have had just amazing trips. The shit we've done, the staying at the Howard Johnson, which sadly enough is now no longer open as well. That's closed permanently. So
the Hojo is gone?
Yeah, the Hojo is gone too.
No way.
Yeah. Next, you're going to tell me the CVS is gone,
What? The Hojo? That's a bummer.
Yeah, because that was like our summer camp. Hojo was like our summer camp for sure. So many
walking
great
memories. Up and down that stupid corridors. I'll never forget that shit. Honestly.
Yeah, you were in the room Human Tornado came out of playing
rocking his music.
I'm like half awake. I'm like, drunk.
He just left doing that.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Anyway, but BOLA. That's old memories. We're gonna make new memories this year. BOLA will be there. We hope to see you guys there. Definitely give us a shout, and we'll link up.
Do you think like it was moved over to 2 days because of the pandemic?
I have no idea why it was moved over to 2 days. I have no idea why it was moved to January. I know our friend Pipe Bomb Brian Gregston is very, very upset about this because BOLA is his favorite wrestling event to attend. He likes to clear his schedule for it and be able to do so. When it was in September and that time of the year, he was able to do it, but due to his job and his work schedule, he just absolutely can't, go during this time of the year. And that absolutely sucks. That sucks because I know how much he enjoys it. And I would love for him to join us. Yeah.
Yeah. That Omicron, it's been taking a toll on the planet, really. And with confirmed cases now in California and believe it or not, in Arizona, we got a case. I know everybody's kind of is gonna be very, very, tight restrictions and regulations. So I'm hoping they implement the mandatory vaccine for BOLA as well. Like you should be vaccinated to go watch the show.
Yeah, I agree.
And they better announce that before tickets go on sale because they're gonna piss off a lot of motherfuckers if they do it in reverse.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got my third booster shot, gentlemen. Try to go get that.
Get mine soon.
There you go. At least before BOLA, because you're going to be going on a plane and with a bunch of stinky wrestling people.
Yep. It's time to get that jab.
Yeah.
Well, in other wrestling news, let me see here. So AEW happened tonight, and I wanted to share something. I know you may not have caught a lot of it, Derek, but Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give you a quick synopsis, Derek. Or did you see this?
No, but you're not going to blow anything for me. So go ahead. I'm happy to hear it.
Okay. So Sammy comes out along with Tony Skibone, cutting a promo about the open challenge. Cody comes out, says, "Hey man, I know how hard it is to be a good guy, and I want to let you know, as good guys, I should,
from one good guy get to another."
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Beek. From one good guy to another, I think I should challenge for that title.
This son of a bitch. But my theory is
I would play the audio if I could.
We'll get fucking killed.
I don't want to get canned.
Don't even show a picture of Cody's tattoo.
Don't
even do it. Yeah, I died when he said that. It was like, oh, this motherfucker is leaning into it hard. Thank goodness.
I mean, it's the only direction it can go, and thank goodness they're going in it. I mean, and honestly, if all of this stuff was going in that direction the whole time, then
genius.
It honestly, it quite possibly could be.
Do you want to know the?
But if it wasn't, and they just course corrected, then
that's fine too. That's fine too.
That's what you do in wrestling.
That's what you do in wrestling. Yeah, and you finally admit your mistake, or you admit the thing isn't working. So why not lean into that?
100%.
It's weird because it's like the Roman Reigns thing, right?
They waited way too long.
Roman Reigns went on with the babyface run, but they had those moments where the crowd boos were something that they could no longer not acknowledge. So in those scenarios, it was like when John Cena was the ultra mega babyface, where just for brief rivalries and for brief periods of time, they made him a pseudo bad guy without really turning him into a bad guy. They never really changed his character, but he got a little cocky and starts talking a little shit to the crowd. And I mean, again, that's kind of what they're doing with this Cody Rhodes situation. Now, I will say the part that I would find the most brilliant about this is all of the accusations at them doing stuff to deliberately start making people not like him. That's where I question, was it deliberate or was it not?
Oh,
does he know who Homelander is, or does he not know who Homelander is? You know what I mean? Like, just things like that. Because if in the end, if he was like, yeah, I fucking know who Homelander is, what am I, an idiot? Like, yeah, I watched all 3 seasons of The Boys or whatever, I'd be like, oh my God, okay, this was great, because you fucking really got all of us to truly believe that you were oblivious to a lot of the things you were doing, when in reality you knew exactly what you were doing the whole time.
The stuff that I really don't think was him trying to make people think he's so goofy as he is, but it's like the promo where, as people mockingly say, he ended racism.
When he cured racism.
His face palming, like, to some of the stuff he does, I honestly think he's not self-aware, but a lot of this wrestling stuff, I'm pretty sure, like, he can't be that oblivious. Like, he can't be. He has people around him. Like, he'll walk by some guy and go, "Oh, cool, Cody, that's awesome. You look like Homelander." He goes, "What? Who is Homelander?
What's a Homelander?"
Yeah, what's Homelander? Like, somebody backstage is going to clue this fucker in.
And I need to add the cherry on top of this delicious wrestling
Please
cake.
Do.
It's on Christmas Day. So guess what we all get for Christmas?
A gift from Cody.
The heel turn from Cody on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
What if? How could he even turn heel? Like, who does he beat up? Like, we can't possibly dislike him further for attacking somebody.
He's already there. Yeah,
he has to turn heel on the crowd. Oh, my ladies, watching me out.
I do think that I think he brought this up on one episode of the show.
Wait. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I know. Go ahead.
Further icings.
Please finish your thought. I just wanted to show you one thing that I caught.
Oh, sure.
And it's a GIF. It's a GIF. Look at the GIF. Look what he does. Wait. Oh,
I don't go in that tunnel. I go in this tunnel.
He goes in that tunnel. Wait a minute. Oh
my goodness.
It's so delicious.
Fucking guy.
It's so delicious. What do you think, man?
That one's almost kind of annoying. Like, you fucker.
Well,
like, we're having fun where it's less obvious, you dick. But I love it still, you know what I mean?
But you mean to tell me that it wasn't fucking a dickhead fucking move with the sledgehammer and the golden shovel?
No,
and
that's
all that?
hilarious.
Awesome.
Right.
But this one's even like more heavy-handed. Like, I'm a bad. No, I'm
No,
a good guy.
well, okay, like I
Gotcha,
was saying,
guys. Gotcha.
he brought up, I think, at one point how like you have to be creative in the modern day and age of wrestling, and that was when he started going down this path of like this thinking. I think it was on it had to be on that on the Roads to the Top or whatever whatever their show is called.
The show, yeah.
I started like just hearing what he was saying, and I was like, this motherfucker knows exactly what he's doing. And then he does all this shit that made me think he didn't, and he was oblivious, right? So it's like, I don't know whether, like you said, whether they pivoted because they realized it was an uphill, a losing effort, like the Anthony Ogogo stuff, for instance, like that's the period of time where you really have a hard time believing that he wasn't trying to get over as this super American babyface, or was he? Or was the direction, because everything AEW does is so deliberate and it's so well thought out. We give them a lot of credit.
I think he was just a genuinely good guy, and everyone liked him for it.
Oh, yeah.
On the internet, he's like, "God, this guy's good. He's a bad guy. He's a super nice guy."
Well, it wasn't just that. It was everything he was saying was so true about the United States, and it was stuff that we were going through at that time. So it wasn't just this like, oh, hey, we tried to have this foreigner cut this promo on America, and people ended up agreeing with it. It was like, not only did people agree with it, but it was like poignant at a point in our history where there was civil unrest over race relations, and everything this guy was saying was very accurate and true. And it was what we were kind of fighting about at that time socially.
But that shit would totally have gotten him heat during a wrestling promo. Like if he did it, "You Americans," and said it directly as a promo instead of a tweet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that was Muhammad Hassan doing the same thing, and we're like, "Oh fuck this guy," which was 10 years ago. But also, I wanted to go back to the two entrances, the heel and the bad guy, and the face and the bad guy entrance. What a great thing! It's an awesome dynamic to just take advantage of. The WWE just has a one single entrance, as they always have. It's like, okay, we're assuming every one of these guys are hanging out in the same locker room together. I know it's a fictional thing, but the two different entrances, it's brilliant, man.
Yeah,
especially when they can do something subtle like Cody doing that little dickhead thing that we all find incredibly humorous.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's been a couple of those, right? There's been
TNT did it for a while.
Yeah, there's been times where guys came out as a heel, and then they turned, and when they left, they went through the other entrance.
It's like they remembered to do that.
Guys,
it's fucking great.
It's the unwritten rule.
Yeah,
you gotta know your part. Know your part.
Ring of Honor had handshakes. They have the two entrances.
It's I think there's a slight fedora vibration whenever you see the entrances for everybody.
Yeah,
like your internal fedora does tingle when you see people coming out of those tunnels.
All those guys with ROH is great. Just the handshake device alone is like so easy.
The code of honor.
It's a basic respect, and if somebody doesn't want to do it, they're a heel. It's like there you go.
Yeah, it's right. Just determined very easily.
Code of honor.
I will not shake your hand. No, sir.
Not adhered to.
All right. What else do we got? I know I actually I watched got caught up on a lot of wrestling. I watched, believe it or not, yes, I watched NXT. I watched the War Games. It was the War Games. It was not very good. I watched the few episodes leading up to it, and then I watched War Games, and my assessment was they had nothing. They had nothing, and I didn't even mind the way that they broke the main War Games match into the two matches. I'm glad this kind of became all about Johnny Gargano leaving, and I think that's like a special feeling for somebody that spent as much time as they did in NXT. I think Megaran said in our chat, rarely do guys get to like say goodbye and tip their cap either when they're leaving NXT or when they're leaving the company. So wherever Gargano is going, which is most likely the main roster, probably with a new helmet or face mask or something. But it was a nice send off. And I liked I like the concept of Eli Drake that's been around, or LA Knight that's been around for like a minute, being an NXT original now somehow and part of that
because
team.
he was originally he was back in NXT while like when he was Sean Ricker. He was a different character, but he was in NXT before.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that he actually had time.
Yeah, he left,
NXT.
went to Impact, left Impact, and came back to NXT.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then I take that back. But
it is for anybody who's, as you can clearly see, not everybody would remember that.
So. Yeah, no.
And if you're just old, they just put you as a. But if you're old in NXT, they just make you an NXT original.
Yeah, well, it's I'm too old to be a young.
He was around
over there
during Black and Gold time, basically before the paint splattered all over everything. He was around, so he counts. Yeah.
So he has. They re-picked up his seniority and just moved him to that side of the room.
Even though he's talking shit, everybody else like, now I'm your friend because of things.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Derek.
Dummy. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Derek. While you were watching the show, there was reports that NXT viewership tanked because of just how the show's been going. What's your opinion on that?
Man, I fucking hate it, but it doesn't mean that there aren't parts that I don't enjoy. There are guys I enjoy. I really like Braun Breaker a lot. I think he's going to be an absolute star. I was fucking dying at the fact that the crowd was calling him Booty Nephew the other night.
That's funny.
But there was also somebody who I didn't think I would like and has just been great is Tony D'Angelo. I thought that guy was just going to be this super stereotypical gimmick. And he is, but I still like him, is my point. Like, I mean, he is, but yet he seems authentic.
I gotta go collect some payments. Like, what the fuck is this guy?
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, some of the stuff like that is so incredibly hokey that I can't believe that they're doing it, right? Yeah. Then like Joe Gacy is another guy that's kind of won me over. I like everything he does kind of makes me smile, and I realize that he is one of the things that I'm like looking forward to when I watch NXT to see what he's up to. The idea of him going after the cruiserweight title and trying to change the perception of it for being an exclusive championship that fat shames people, you know. Yeah, and it was awesome, right? It was fucking great. He's the cruiserweight champion, and it's a really cool.
Well, no, he didn't. He's not cruiserweight champion, but he was able to convert it over. Right. Convert the title. It's no longer for 205 or whatever.
Right. Well, he convinced Roderick Strong to bypass the weight limit thing. Right.
Yeah, it's gone for good now. So that's fucking rad as fuck.
And he it's funny because he made it. Technically, he opened the door for women to fight for it too, because he did.
Good call.
Yeah, he did have like this representation of different people that now could fight for the cruiserweight championship.
It's interesting that they have 3 singles titles in the same weight class essentially now, though. You know what I mean? That's like for one show. I guess they're just trying to be on par with Raw and SmackDown.
Well, the cruiserweight title is now like a never open weight title.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's the X Division championship as well.
Great.
Yeah, there's still like But yeah, dude, honestly, at first I was super jazzed because I loved because it was really like everything flowed together, like segments all kind of flowed together, and it was kind of awesome. You never knew what was coming next, and now it just, to me, that's kind of lost its appeal. And some of the guys that they're featuring, like Von Wagner, I feel like he's playing a human being. I can't honestly, like, I'm not into it at all. Like, not even just his wrestling. His wrestling's fine. Yeah, it's very generic and passable, but he himself is incredibly generic.
Yeah, he's a prehistoric man trying to play a modern man, shaving his forehead,
caveman, forehead.
Oh, a caveman can recognize a caveman. Trust me.
Some girl recently goes, he's a much hotter looking Edge. I'm like, what? Like, I'm a straight man, and I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
I call hokum on that one.
Yeah,
pure hokum.
I don't know. I mean,
I can't stand this Tony D'Angelo. I again, perfectly fine wrestler. I just the gimmick. I just and I can't get into
he's
it.
In waste. He's in waste management.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Beek, I completely understand.
And you know me, man. I want to like everything. Like if something is not sticking me, like I'm like, what's wrong with me?
No, it's this. It's like like 4 steps backwards. Like everything they're doing in NXT, with the exception of a few guys, feels like it's straight out of the early 90s WWF. You know, like
it the Goon, the Gobbledygooker, Repo Man.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I love that shit, but this one's goofy.
But it's so fucking over the top and goofy, and it's so bad at times. The girl that does the talk show is awful.
There's like Wendy Williams or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, everything they're doing with MSK is kind of lame.
Fucking A, what did they do to these guys?
Yeah,
they deserve way better than these fucking vignettes of them. Like, I get it, they like marijuana. Like, yeah, I love marijuana,
but we're never gonna say the thing. You know, like, oh my god, it's so childish and juvenile, right?
And I'll admit, Tony has charisma. I just can't like. Hopefully, I mean, eventually one day it'll click. I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, no, okay. So what I think with him, what won me over was like him actually being that character, like in the wrestling ring and in actual non-vignettes, right? When I saw the vignettes, I fucking hated him. And I was like, are you kidding me? We're fucking doing this. We're doing this shitty Sopranos parody thing. Like, I don't understand why you guys need to fall back on like stereotypes and shit all the time. And again,
he painted an Italian flag on his face for War Games.
Yeah. I mean, but again, there is an authenticity to him at times, and it feels like after a while, it won't be so much of that, you know. Yeah. But it'll like still
Kofi
be
Kingston that Kofi Kingston was super cliche and over the top of goofy, and eventually
great comparison, right? Yeah. It'll erode away, but he'll still be like an Italian Goomba. He'll still talk with. He'll fucking still use stereotypical sayings and
hopefully
shit.
He'll say capiche.
Capiche. Yeah, capiche.
The thing about him is just I guess I just find ridiculous. It's all the super over the top cliches, like when what I mentioned earlier, when he said, "I can't fight right now, I gotta collect some payments." I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah. Well,
but
I mean,
Tony would order the gabagool.
He's going all the way. He's going all the way in. That's what he needs to do. He's probably winning Vince over by doing this, so he's doing his fucking job, and he probably knows a guy that is this guy, so that's probably why he does it so well.
Sure. He knows a guy that knows a guy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. He can do a thing, you know.
Don't worry about it. Hey, what's his name? What's his name? Don't worry about his name.
It's probably Tony as well.
I don't like. Okay, like they were doing that whole. I forget her name now, Mei Ying thing or whatever with BOA, but I think they released her or whatever. So now they just are doing the storyline where he has her powers now because she gave them her powers before she left, is at least what he said in a vignette. There's just a lot of dumb shit going on. There's this Tiffany Sutton girl that's supposed to be like a spoiled rich daddy. Tiffany Stratton. There you go. That's supposed to be like this rich girl that's coming.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spin-off of like Clueless or something like that. I feel like,
but
she's like Paris Hilton.
Oh, they kind of already have toxic attraction in, like, I don't know. That's different.
Like, those are hot chicks. This is a vampy, ditzy blonde chick but actually is also an athlete. So she's really good. Probably clearly if she's an athlete, she must be fucking pretty good.
I can kind of tell in the way she walks that she's not like necessarily this exact cliche that she's claiming to be, but
I think they're trying to evoke a fucking Trish Stratus initial vibe. Even the TS initials, I think, are supposed to make people kind of tie that in.
That's a good comparison. There is a lot of vignettes and stuff that they're doing, and usually I love this stuff, but man, none of them are clicking with me. None of them like make me excited to see this person. Like debuts and shit are my jam. I think now though that they're down to a point where these are actual, just like, and excuse the phrase, but like startup wrestlers. Like I don't want to say nobodies, but you know, people that don't really have a wrestling background that you might be familiar with their work in some way, shape, or form, right?
And with that new fucking program, the next in line, we're only getting that more so. Like they're completely washing away anybody who has some sort of previous experience.
Yeah, and that makes, I mean, it makes
sense
for
them, but it's unfortunate. Like it's going to take a lot of soul out of their wrestling. Unfortunately,
here's what I will say, and I've said it before in the past, and maybe they're starting to realize this. NXT at times, as much as we don't want to admit it because we love it, has been one of the biggest detriments to Raw and SmackDown in the history of the WWF/WWE. I mean that because they decided to make it not just the Performance Center, not just their minor league system. They made it where every new and exciting wrestler went to learn the WWE way before they could be added to the main roster. And the minute that they made that decision to do that with every single guy, with the exception of AJ Styles, was the dumbest fucking move that they ever made, because they instantly made NXT the hottest thing in wrestling, which then pisses them off about their main roster because they still want the main roster to be the hottest thing in wrestling.
All the hot debuts are taking place on this, thing.
Yeah. Right. And then not only are the hot debuts taking place there, but then those guys are taking on, matches. And sometimes because of the way that WWE acquires talent, these are the first time we've ever seen these two guys face off, or it's somebody it's somebody that we've seen in the indies face off against each other like a dozen times. And we know they have fire matches and we can't wait to see them fucking link up here.
And Donovan Dijak.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. So get out of my goddamn head. But yes, exactly. Now, what you have
the other main thing about that is the work rate is so fucking high. Like Raw and SmackDown can't possibly compete because people want to see top level wrestling, not just the same cookie cutter match every fucking segment.
Right. Now you have,
I swear, I'm sorry.
No, well, I mean, no. Now what you have is like these guys going to the main roster and then somehow being disappointing. Well, we're not excited to see them jump from NXT to the main roster. We are a little bit. We're happy for them, but we're also terrified. We're apprehensive. We're cautiously pessimistic based on your track record of what you've done with these guys in the past. So we are worried, and you make us more worried because you keep botching these guys as they come up more and more. So we just keep seeing this happen left and right. And then as more of our favorites come over, we just get more apprehensive, as you said, for their futures.
They let
everybody go,
They created this concoction that you're supposed to drink, and they just never change it. So therefore, when we always try to drink in,
it's like
NXT, superstars going to the main roster, it's always a very bad taste in the mouth.
Yeah,
and it's created that stigma because now it's all like, what would we say in our chats? Hope they don't screw them up. Hope they don't screw them up. Hope they don't botch it.
Well, NXT is supposed to be developmental. It's supposed to be.
Oh, remember they said it's not though.
It is now.
I know.
It's the ultimate. Now.
It always was to me.
They worked themselves into a shoot with NXT. Is essentially what they did.
Yeah, they were so determined on making this a separate brand competing with them that they shouldn't have done that. It's like, why? Like, so exhausting.
It's the Eric Andre meme of him shooting fucking what's his name?
Hannibal Buress?
Yeah, Hannibal Buress. And then being like, why did WWE do this? WWE, why did WWE do this? Why did we kill NXT? It's like they wanted to change gears and
literally tried to throw a new coat of paint on it, Derek. Like literally, several new coats of paint,
and it wasn't just one coat; it was a machine gun.
So many colors. It was like a splat. Oh man!
And
meanwhile, Daniel Bryan is the fucking top heel in all of professional wrestling right now.
He's killing it.
He's absolutely. Well, when you say killing it, you mean the Dark Order.
He's murdering people.
One member at a time. Yeah,
he's kicking them heads in. Fucking camera, what the fuck's going on?
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Street Fighter, when in Street Fighter 2, where you would have to get on after you beat somebody, you have to fly on that airplane to go to their country.
Yeah.
And then so
Daniel Bryan's just flying around the country.
He's just flying to city to
city, kicking everybody's ass in their hometowns,
stacking up wins.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be guys, honestly, that go to AEW and probably don't flourish. Like AEW is getting to be a crowded house, yet they also have top guys now that are injured and need to take some time off. And this is exactly the reason why you stack the roster full of stars like this, so that you have guys able to step up and, take over the responsibility of being the main. Well, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, like two of their top guys right there are out right now due to reasons, and so these are the reasons why you
they picked up two of the biggest names in indie wrestling ever, CM Punk's and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's just fruitful that happened. They just happened to, these guys needed time off. These guys that just came on recently just filled those slots perfectly.
Well, and I mean, wrestling probably should be a little bit more like that. For the sake of the wrestlers, they should have a couple of months off, even if they're not injured. And honestly, for us fans, it only endears them in our eyes more, right? Like, I mean, it only, distance, makes the heart grow fonder, all of that. Like, so when these guys are off, we just can't wait to see them back. Having an ecosystem where you can let your guys rest their bodies and have some time off and still be enthusiastic about this business while having a family or having a normal, personal life,
and find creative ways to write it in, like fucking injury angles where people are out, so people are concerned about them and they are caring. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sure. Well, they could also simple stuff. They could also just follow the New Japan style, where if you need to fill in a storyline, throw in a tournament, but stretch the tournament out. Don't throw them all in the ring. You know. That's why I like the way New Japan does it, because they'll do like the best of the Super Juniors, or they'll do the best tag league, and that's when the champions would normally get in their rest. That's why Okada was champion for so long.
And we just got out of that TBS or the TBS tournament was going down, dude.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'll tell you, the tournament, especially the way New Japan does it, and AEW does incorporate a lot of this stuff into it, is the pageantry, making it feel like a big deal, but also wasting time so that you don't have to have, as many matches on this show. Like, you could cut out a whole match with a tournament match, as long as you make it the entrances and everything prestigious enough, and have an announcer there doing the, in-ring announcing of the two competitors and everything like that. Just make it into a big deal. I love that aspect of New Japan, and I love when the winner gets the full celebration, the full flowers, even AEW is kind of guilty of cutting Hangman Page's celebration a bit short on the last pay-per-view. It was probably the one piece of criticism I had, was this guy who we adore now has been climbing this hill to get to the top and become champion of AEW. And he finally gets there, and you give us a relatively quick celebration before going off air. I wanted to see that shit fucking go on for a half an hour. I wanted to see him ride a horse out of the goddamn stadium. You know what I mean? Like, with roses fucking around his neck and a crown on his head.
It should have been like Kevin Nash that one night when it was just a regular night on Nitro, and he gave himself all the pyro.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, it went on for 5 minutes.
It was like the finale of a fireworks show, but it's going on.
It was fantastic.
Just for big sexy.
Big sexy. But yeah, I mean, I think that AEW is going to be fine. I think that guys in wrestling, for the most part, know their role. I think AEW gives them now enough championships and enough shows to appear on. I think some guys dominate, like you said, Neo, on Dark, and I think there's plenty of opportunities for guys to come over. It's curious because now there is enough people accumulating on the indies that have not been signed that it does make me doubt how many of these guys will end up in AEW, right?
Well, and WWE is only adding to that talent pool on a monthly basis.
Right. And I think that's the thing is WWE finally realized at one point, even though they were hoarding all this talent, they're like, well, fuck it. Now we'll just unleash it all on the market. And there's no way that any company particularly could pick it all up. So here you go. We'll just get rid of all these guys,
But it also stinks for them is they took some of these independent wrestlers and made them more TV ready. Like now they know how to work the hard cam even better. Like they've give these guys polish. They've unleashed better wrestlers onto the market.
Not to mention the fact that not only are these guys already good and we as independent wrestling watchers love them, but they've introduced them to the TV audience, right? Yeah. So now people know who Keith Lee is. Now people know who Karrion Kross is. And the way that WWE presented them was as fucking badasses. So they have that clout of, not being like Barry. Well, I guess Karrion Kross was a Barry a little bit on his way out. A little bit.
I'm actually kind of excited in a way about what the next in line. That's what WWE is calling all their collegiate athletes they're signed on. It's the next in line program. Because there's going to be probably a couple fucking solid people in there, like Braun Breaker. There'll be maybe one or two Braun Breakers, and there'll be even guys that the WWE trains and gets pretty good, and they'll let go that might go on the indies and become like incredibly hot. You know what I mean? So there is possibility that there could be some good from it, but it's really going to take a lot of the fucking soul out of NXT and WWE as the whole when everyone's wrestling the same exact match.
It's going to be interesting what NXT truly becomes once they do move on. Gargano, it's done. We had Kyle O'Reilly making the UE symbol or doing the UE hand symbol at the last show, which, what does that mean at this point? His contract, I guess.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
That's the very first thing I thought of when he said it.
Gets the people going.
It's the people going. And hey, it does. It gets me
ball going. So hard.
But
ball so hard.
I mean, Ciampa. I do like the fact that they are making Cameron Grimes into a star,
a more serious star, the character too.
Yeah, they're cleaning him up almost now with this whole, with this last storyline for like his preparation to go to the main roster. It was almost like he got his big boy haircut and beard trim before.
I was also
major superstar.
Sean Sapp mentioned that Roddy's still staying around too. So everyone was assuming that he was ditching too, but no, apparently he re-signed a contract. So we'll have Roddy Strong around for a while. So how do you feel about that? Him being the last stalwart. Do you think it's, just the man doing what's right for his family and making the fucking money?
It's interesting.
Not going to play with his friends like he possibly could if he wanted to.
I guess, but I think after a while people want to do their own thing. You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
they don't want to be a henchman for Adam Cole the rest of their career. What's interesting is like Kyle O'Reilly is someone that I think of everybody in UE, we wanted to see him break out and become a singles star. My first impression of, or my first match I ever saw of Kyle O'Reilly was him as PWG champion. Right. So I've always kind of known him to be that. And then, he became part of Red Dragon, and then he was just a tag team guy kind of from that point on. And I know he had the Future Shock tag team or whatever with Adam Cole prior to that. But I don't know. I think that Kyle O'Reilly's single run wasn't really a great one. I don't think it's his fault.
No,
I thought it was really weird that all of the weird kooky versions of Kyle that we loved all went away kind of when he became a singles good guy. And it was like, no, put on the glasses.
Where's the dance? The strut?
The dance, strut? Where's do the dance out to the ring? Yeah, all that stuff.
Air guitar. You don't need a title. You can still air guitar in the air.
Yeah. So
it's just interesting how both of them are both companies are building toward the future. Like you got NXT, who's going and looking at a totally different division, looking for collegiate athletes, while AEW is taking the top independent stars and actually building their company around them or setting them up to be the next as people keep saying, the next pillars of the company. You know what I mean? Like, it's really interesting. One of them more traditional, and one we're gonna just stake our own plan. We're doing our own thing.
I'm not gonna act like I discovered independent wrestling in 2014, but I think that's when I really started paying a lot of attention to it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I had watched Ring of Honor before that. I had seen things sporadically. Here in Phoenix, we didn't get any of that stuff. We didn't get ECW. We didn't get a lot of stuff. So like, we still don't. I don't have that ability to stumble upon it. Right. Interestingly enough, I got a new TV early for Christmas, and the new TV is an LG TV, and it just has LG channels that you can go through. Has a shit ton to it. Makes me want to totally get rid of DirecTV forever. One thing I noticed was there was several wrestling channels on LG's lineup, including an All Impact Wrestling channel, and then like some like real, I mean, like really kind of I don't know, small independent wrestling promotions I've never even heard of. Right. So
weird.
Like, it was, that's
rad.
Like, this is so cool, right? I mean, the content's out there, and people
you start doing a podcast of this random show that no one else is watching.
Yes, I'm totally going to do that. But I mean, there's that the thing that I remember about starting to pay attention to independent wrestling was, I was like, WWE needs to do this. They need to do this. This is what they need to do. Like, look at this atmosphere. This is awesome. Like, this is fucking cool. And then I started to understand, like, okay, I get why CM Punk was such a big deal, right? Like, I get why he's so good, because he is one of these guys that I say that they should go get. And then they started to do that exact thing. And I got really excited because it was all around the same time where I had kind of stumbled upon a lot of these guys. Now, this was after, Bryan Danielson was already with the company and CM Punk was with the company. So this isn't pre when those guys started to come on, but this was pre the big talent pool acquisition for NXT, where they went out and started to get all of these guys and bring them into NXT.
They're doing the thing.
They did the thing. Yeah.
And then they're like, wait, why did we do this?
Yeah. I don't know. You guys really fucking dropped the ball though on this whole NXT thing, and I'll tell you,
everyone loved it, man. I think there's still a group of people that are passionate about it. Like, it's still their favorite show, and they fucking love it, and they'll defend it to their death. But yeah, it definitely has kind of gone. Woo.
There was dumb shit like where they put the fucking War Games cage where they had to come through the goddamn audience like they were members on fucking. They were like,
come on down
through
the Price is Right.
Yeah. There was a lot of dumb shit that I just didn't like that they tried to do. I applaud their efforts though for doing new things, right? At least with NXT, they're trying to do new things, but everything is very cliche. I have no idea who's behind it creatively, but there's just not a lot of super creative, in-depth writing behind these characters. You know what I mean?
The girl who can't even skateboard is
the skateboard
character.
Girl that can't skateboard. You two guys look like country boys, so well, that's what we're gonna make you, country boys.
And you're not even necessarily friends. You just start fighting each other and decide to be.
And then pals. One day you decided to tag team together. Yeah, because opposites.
It's clearly it's like APA 2.0, but not as good. Yeah. And I like Josh Briggs. I think he's awesome as far as in-ring competitor. Hopefully it pans out better for these guys, but yeah. Ugh. Hey, anyway, at least we got fucking AEW, man. They got Moriarty fucking pushing him real good, had him facing Punk, man. As much as AEW, I apologize, as much as NXT and WWE are letting us down, at least there's fucking AEW. And I hate to say that because I'm such a WWE diehard, but I don't even care if I miss parts of the show. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Not at all. Before I used to I had to watch. It was must see TV. Now I'm like, oh, I missed half the fucking show. I'm not even going to bother to go back and watch it. Yeah,
you're right. I do that. I get up and walk. I leave the room for a long period of time. And normally I would rewind it, but I'm like, I kind of heard what was going on, and it didn't sound like anything super interesting was going on. I hate how my ears, no matter how much I'm paying attention or not paying attention, pick up their lame fucking jokes about people being fired that piss me off every single time. So I think it was Pat McAfee was talking about Shayna Baszler. Yeah, and they were showing a video package of Shayna Baszler doing the stomp to people's elbow. And I think he said that she was future endeavoring them.
Oh, too soon.
Which was about Nia Jax.
Wow, Patty McAfee.
Yeah.
Not
or I think he might have even said that he future endeavored her elbow or something like that. Or
you know what's fun? The stuff like that is I can understand why people think that kind of line is funny, but it's because you're fucking insensitive and don't give a fuck about somebody's career.
Exactly.
I mean, if that's what you find in music, I understand it's a terrible thing to say, but I can understand why it's also cutting into music. It's like, okay, dude, fuck you.
Yeah, you have your fedora on like all the time. Take it off for a sec, yeah.
Fucking A.
And it again, like you said, I really wish I found it to be amusing. I really wish it didn't piss me off, but it does. It makes me think it's insensitive, and it makes me think it's fucking low-hanging fruit.
And then people say, "Oh, but how'd you like the Attitude Era?" It's like, I was 17.
All I wanted to see were boobies.
Yeah, I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. What are you talking about? I'm a grown man now. Or
I hate the fact that Neo's right.
Like, he's going to be 35 tomorrow.
I can't tell you how many episodes I tuned into purely based on the fact that I thought we were going to see tits that night. And let's be honest, a couple of times we did.
I honestly never tuned into wrestling for hot chicks. That was just like extra bonus on there. I was
more like extra boner.
Whoa, this fucking guy.
Let's do winners of the week.
Boners of the week.
Someone called WWE the heel company because no matter what you want, they won't let you have it. Like, because they'll dangle it in your face and then they'll take it away from you just because for some reason they think that's fucking funny.
No, that's not true. Vince McMahon said specifically he's in the business of giving the fans what they want.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But again, he's also making a TV show.
Also, I remember a time that Vince McMahon in character said, "You think I'm going to listen to the fans? The fans are like children. If you let them decide what they're going to eat for dinner, they eat nothing but candy all the time." And that's what he probably sees like the NXT wrestlers as, just candy all the time.
And fucking Derek, you would eat candy for dinner, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you know I would eat candy.
I didn't know, 100%. I know he's talking about Derek.
I would 100% eat candy.
Give him the candy.
Let's do winners of the week, shall we? Neo, since you wanted to go do this, you can go first.
All right, here we go. My winner of the week is none only than the hottest thing in pro wrestling.
Yeah! They're sending Hook. They are sending Hook. Yeah.
So if you're a real hooker, you're gonna love this show.
Yeah, get down on Friday.
So yeah, he's going to be debuting against Fuego del Sol, like you said, Friday on Rampage, and they've been hyping him up. He's been the best kept secret in FTR and AEW on TV. Beek.
The most unkept secret, like they have it right there. Everyone's like looking at Hook. Like, everyone knows about this brother, dude. No, but I'm super stoked too. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Look at them arms.
You remember that? Remember that episode of The Simpsons where it's the gang fight between the Italians and the I guess they're the triads, and there's that guy in the little white suit. And then Homer's like, he's gonna do something.
Yeah.
That's Hook.
Doesn't Homer never get to see him do anything?
Yeah.
Has anybody made that as a meme? Because that's hilarious. I think I have to Photoshop Hook's head on that little motherfucker.
There you go, man. There you go. But yeah, man. I'm psyched for Hook. Can't wait to see what he does. I'm hoping he pays a slight homage to his father and maybe do that Tagsplex that he used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him have like a nice.
He's gonna do the Kata Hajime.
There you go. I don't know what that is.
That's the Taz mission.
Oh, there you go.
That's the judo name for it. He always used because Taz was awesome. Like he had to get the fucking real name over because he's a shoot fighter, fucking guy. He's a shooter, dude.
And the fact that Hook is debuting in like those lovely like boxing shorts, huh, Derek?
Yeah,
you think that's his actual gear?
I like those trunks. Those are good.
You think that's his real gear? Because that would be kind of cool.
Let me actually pull up.
Are they orange and black, or are they gold and black?
I think they're. Here it is. Here's a picture of it.
Oh, speaking of the orange and black, fucking Dante coming out in orange and black tights tonight to sell that he actually was with Team Taz and then fucking swerving him. Like, they didn't even need to do that. Like, he didn't need to buy tights for one show.
But he fucking did, and it was
But
rad.
they fucking did, yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Right on.
So the green and orange, it looks like green and orange.
Look at this guy. This guy's a fucking legend already in the making. Yeah,
Oh, man.
Why is it all hook thread? Did you? Oh, you did search for hook. I was
Yeah,
like, why is everything hook related?
There it is.
The entire timeline when the hook announcement dropped. It's the next one.
The new four pillars.
I love this thing.
Shit.
What's better than like it's because it is somewhat ironic that everyone's doing this. If he shits the bed entirely, it's gonna really bum everyone out.
No shit. Yeah, that would suck. Well, here's the thing though. Look at what they've done with him, right? I mean, they've made people literally foam at the mouth to see this guy literally just by having him there, but not fight or wrestle, right?
It's kind of like when you kind of want to attract a girl and you just try to be cool, mysterious. Like that's just Hook all the time, and
now everybody's into him. Everybody.
Now we're all his hookers.
Men, women, like this, it doesn't matter. We all love him. We all want
arms
him.
Crossed like he's a fucking mean motherfucker.
Just super stoic in a wife beater in the corner.
Tiny little fucking
he
dude.
dresses like the kids dress today. So like, it's just
is
another fan base.
Oh, he's definitely taller than
I'm
Taz.
taller than Taz.
Yeah, come on.
You're way taller than Taz.
Yeah, man.
You're like two Tazes. You're like Taz on Taz's shoulders. I'm gonna give my winner of the week to Cody Rhodes just because of that clip we just saw.
Yes,
I love it. I'm fucking all in on it, and I can't believe that he's doing it. It's this is like Hook. This is the same kind of thing. Like, I wanted it to be the direction they were going. Just give me one good feeling that that this is the direction you're going. Yeah. And again, they gave me what I want. So even when it's a heel turn.
My winner of the week
Wig
is Kyle O'Reilly because he got out. The motherfucker got out. Yes, he's leaving.
I love this. And it goes back to that whole UE that he threw up,
Yeah, man. If he did that, I wonder if he did that without any permission.
Ooh,
that's a very move, right?
Or maybe somebody said, "Do the UE." It's like, okay. Oh, by the way, when Gargano called Shawn Michaels Heartbreak, I was like, that was hilarious.
Heartbreak.
Heartbreak said I could go as long as I want. But yeah, my winner of the week is Kyle because honestly, if he's gone from the WWE and headed to AEW, even if he's not as featured as prominently as he was in his last run of NXT, he'll have a lot more fun, I imagine. And that's what it's about, having fun and making money.
I should change my winner of the week to Johnny Gargano. I know, but I felt like Johnny Gargano deserves winner of the week this week for everything that he did, including that. He also had a great video that he did with Malcolm Bivens, where Malcolm apparently walked up to him and told him that he was going to be the new locker room leader now. And Johnny kind of laughed. And then he was like, yeah, no, nobody thinks that about you. You're bad. You're really bad. Like really bad. Just super bad. Just bad. And they just walks away and Malcolm's like, ha ha! All right, Johnny. I'm gonna miss you too, man. And so that shit fucking cracked me up. But Johnny Gargano, a legend in the NXT world. I would just find it hilarious for him never to actually make the main roster. That for some reason to me would just be, I know he had the couple of matches, but for Gargano to do everything he did for this company, to do it just at NXT and to never make the main roster is, just a small example of everything that's wrong with the WWE right now.
Or he saved himself the opportunity from being totally fucked over by the main roster push, as so many else would. He had this awesome run in NXT that will never be tarnished.
I'll tell you this much. Mark my words. If they move him to the main roster, I don't believe it'll be that. I think that they will do a Daniel Bryan style gigantic underdog run with him. I think
they'll take down Roman Reigns. It's going to be the little dog versus big dog.
I love this idea
Bow
so
wow.
much. And
Bow wow.
this
Bow
is
wow.
exactly what I want to see.
Bow
now.
wow, wow.
No, I will say though that WWE is the kind of company to think that we would forget Johnny Gargano's entire NXT history and play him as an underdog on the main roster, like as if he hasn't been fighting bigger dudes this entire time in NXT.
Yeah, but these dudes are real big.
Yeah, the real super big.
They got at least a foot on everybody in NXT,
and they move a lot slower.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, when Gargano goes up to the main roster, he's going to debut a superhero gimmick.
It's just going to be Johnny Wrestling. They're going to. This Gargano last name is too hard to pronounce.
But you just
Speaking of which, Johnny Wrestling debuted at BOLA, bringing it all around. Wrapping it all up in a bow. See you guys at BOLA. We thank you guys so much for listening to episode 457 of the Steel Cage podcast. You can get us all on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Neo is at the Neo X with an ECKS at the end. Beaky is over at James Vanderbeek. That's JAIMS Vanderbeek. But of course, all roads lead to at the Steel Cage. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Please shoot us a message over at podcast at thesteelcage.com or pick up one of our t-shirts over at thesteelcageshop.com. Of course, our Uncle Beek is a tremendous t-shirt designer himself. As you know, he's a meme master and he is a t-shirt master. You can get his t-shirts over at pentagonzo.com. And that'll take you directly.
That, I put all of the NWO DX shirts up because so many people liked all of them. So they're all up there if anybody wants them.
I don't know how to spell.
There you go.
Pentagonzo.com.
Pentagonzo.
There they are.
Okay.
So yeah, I put all of them up.
Ooh.
And then I also put up this new one, Suck It 316, which is two-sided. Click on that one, David. Suck It 316, right in the middle.
This one. Sorry, man.
Click on that one. So you got that's the back. So it says Suck It 316 on the front. It's got a Degeneration X Stone Cold Skull on the back.
That's a cool. Yeah, that's a cool crossover shirt, man. That was rad.
I like it.
Sir. Thank you.
I like all of these a lot, and I'm surprised that you get away with this, but go get all of these t-shirt designs as you can see here over at pentagonzo.com.
Yeah, looks like there's a little bit of discount going in 3 hours, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, it's still going for 3 hours. So get over there. The people who are listening to this, you missed it.
but that one person on Twitch.
But if you're watching on Twitch right now,
it shows up pretty often too. They're on sale constantly. So hey, if it's not on sale when you look, check back in a week or so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scroll.
Well, that's all we got, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening to episode 457. We appreciate you. We love you. And remember, kids, Cody Rhodes is a heel now. No matter what the fuck he says, he's a heel now.
Good guy. He's a good guy.